Hey guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday, November 3rd. We're going to talk about GameStop. The SPY squeezing all-time highs again. Yippee. All the crazy option plays. The $250,000 I may or may not have made today. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. We have a Twitter you can follow us on at Happy Money YT, and a Discord you can get on as well. It's in the description. Forrest Gump's running. Oh boy. Yeah, what happened today on GameStop? So if you're one of those people that watches the first 15 seconds of a video and then clicks off, don't worry, you're not too late. GameStop gave you a huge gift today. Just gave you a tiny little glimpse into the future, into what can and will happen. So if you want to be a part of that, make your own decision. Okay, now for those that continue on, SPY firstly, Pal is whispering sweet nothings to it right now on the telly, and she likes it. This is when FOMC, the minutes came out, and then he started talking about here, and they love it. And I was just like, all right, let's just look at some fibs. The fibbies, and high to low, I did a kind of retractment extension thing, whatever it's called. The 161.8%. That might be the top. That might be the final resistance. Doesn't have to go that high, but that's 473. Right now on the daily though, it's pretty overbought at this point. And if you look at that, that is not normal for the biggest index to be that high. I know this is the ETF of it, but leave me alone. There's a big fat RSI divergence, given this hasn't ended, so this might keep going and keep pulling that RSI higher than it was back here. But if it doesn't and the RSI stays lower than here, and yeah, then this is a big fat RSI divergence. This is on the weekly chart. So from this high back here to this high up here, as well as you see on the weekly, we've had bearish MACD since 9/3 for 2 months exactly. So yeah, I think it is a blow off the top. Some days I'll say, oh, it's going to keep rallying, and yeah, depends on time frame. It's going to rally or it's going to sell off. Just depends on time. So the next second, it's going to rally. The next year, it's going to sell off, or 2 years. So it's all about time. Not a whole lot else on that. Powell did say he's tapering. I don't know how many billion a month. SPY loves it. So it's going to keep rallying. Yesterday, my video, so that basically the whole video yesterday was before the Bed Bath & Beyond news of them doing a share buyback over the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, as well as them collaborating with Kroger and doing e-commerce stuff. So yeah, that was a little wrench that got thrown in. That went up 80% yesterday if we weren't watching, and that's just basically screws the shorts because Bed Bath & Beyond's pulling out 2/3 of their shares, I think I read, out of the float and buying it back. So that's what companies do. They trade their own stock just like a degenerate Wall Street Bets gambler. It's pretty straightforward. When it's really high like this, they say, let's have a share offering, offer some stocks. That's selling shares. And then when it's really low, like down here, they're like, this thing is way undervalued. We think it's worth way more. We're gonna do a share buyback. We're gonna buy our own stocks back. So that's what they said, and it's screwing the shorts. There's probably some hedge fund that got liquidated or is in the process or is starting to or something, because it rallied up 80%. It pulled GME, AMC, Express, Cost, pulled all of them up. Pre-market like 7% or so. Charts looked exactly the same on all of them. Totally normal, not unusual for a video game retail store and a movie theater and a headphone company and a clothing store from a mall to all rally and have same price action after hours. So anyways, we haven't seen after hour price action for like a year. That was insane. All these days where I'm like, all right, I don't want to hold cover calls overnight. So thankful I didn't. So thankful. And this was why, even though we haven't seen it for a year, I'm just waiting for that one day. You know, it might not happen that way, but it could. It's possible it'll just gap up, not 6%, but like 60 or 100. So that's why I'm careful overnight. However, if you watched yesterday's video, I played a little bit too much risk management. I was a little too excited. Today, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. I'm getting really loud. Today was quite bittersweet for me. It was a beautiful day. GME did a nice little pinch up here just to give us a little wave and tell us what's going on. We've got 40 minutes left in the market, so probably not gonna do a whole lot. Might come back up to VWAP, but really looks like it's happy down here. So what happened? And what's crazy is GME actually ran the most. I mean, AMC went up quite a bit, but GME ran the most by far. I think it was probably a liquidation, a margin call, and they were closing their short position. The BBBY news just set it off. So I did not take that into account last night. I did not know that news was coming out, of course. So I closed all of my calls and debit spreads and put credit spreads, all those very, very bullish, aggressive plays that I had so much money in. I closed all of them last night. Today was rough. This whole first hour, we rallied. Not even an hour. Look at that. Wasn't even an hour. I had to get up and I had to leave. I was pacing around my room, just cracking up. I started to do the math and I just stopped. I didn't want to do it anymore. But you can do, if you get on our Discord, hit me up. I'll show you the screenshot of all of the plays. You can add up what I would have been at, but I think it was probably between 250 and $500,000. I would have been able to cash out. And not to say I would have had a perfect exit or anything like that, but yeah. So anyways, this is totally fine. I think that it came down. I think this is good. This is actually a huge gift if you are buying shares or options. The TA has showed us that it's going to come up. Everything's been bullish about it. I forgot to actually mention it in yesterday's video. Cool little DD about well, the GAM. Let's see, the delta neutral. Yeah, that was really interesting. Just the market makers and the option chain, they're all screwed up on it. There was, let's see, caught some weird sell walls. That was actually pretty cool. I don't know where I shared it. Pressure cooker. Basically, there was DD from back at one of the pinches on GameStop, and it was really interesting. It was just looking at the RSI, and it said when the RSI goes from 55 to like 65, some range in there, in the same day, it's always done like a parabolic move, and since January at least. So it happened back here, that first bit, and then right here. So if it goes up to 65 and then, or less than 65, then it's gonna get shorted back down or whatever. But each time it's happened, like right here, it's had the crazy move right here. I was like, that's really interesting. And I was also reading that yesterday when it was just doing that. I was like, cool, that's why I got such a heavy position. I'm very grateful. We made crazy sick profits yesterday. Could have 10x what we did at least, but it's good to lock in profits. My risk management was too tight. Basically, I should have had some more exposure. I just probably had more out there than I should have, so it was hard for me to just leave some exposure out there. That being said, it is unpredicted. I mean, the TA was showing an RSI divergence to pull back today, and I think actually this pullback we're seeing is what would have naturally happened, but it would have started down here, like the 200 range, and probably brought us back down to I don't know, 193 or something. But all that crazy news brought this up, and then they were liquidated. So huge spike, and yeah, now we're just back kind of to your regular programming. However, that regular programming, I think, is bringing us up like crazy still this month. So this was kind of a little pump fake, but I don't think it's over at all. Short-term price action, honestly, tomorrow could be insane. I'm kind of curious if this MACD uses this signal as support or not. MACD is 54330, so 6 minutes we'll see, 7 minutes, 6 minutes we'll see if that stays bearish. Probably will, but might not. See, it just pulled down on the 5 minute, on the hourly, and that's bringing that to bearish. This is, I mean, this is still a nice setup. The MACD came down today from that huge rip. I actually shorted some calls up here and I just closed them. I hate shorting stuff. It's just, I'm not ready for that. But everything's still good. We're holding up support so far above this like 211. That's kind of the high from back here. We're holding up support to that. It's possible we come down more and just need some more time to consolidate, which would put us into next week. On the daily, it's high, but it's not crazy. I was trying to compare it to earlier price actions, and it's hard to, because this really hasn't happened where someone liquidated early in the cycle. And I think this maybe is the closest type, something like this. And this could be what we're seeing. But then the RSI today is so high. I'm hoping it's not this, because today's candle is going to look pretty similar to this, but I don't think it is. I'm thinking it's more the point of the cycle. I feel like it's like right here. We might kind of grind up. But honestly, this could be this. Like I said 2 days ago, this could be the beginning of the squeeze. This day, or 3 days ago, actually. I think it was one of these days. Once we flip bullish on the MACD right here, once we had green over the 9, I was like, it's not going to start until it actually starts. You know, like it's going to seem like it's nothing until it's something. Or it will just gap up, you know, 100% after hours. We don't know how it's going to go, but all that TA pointing to bullish move, as well as somewhat of a cycle, not complete cycle. So maybe they started covering early too. That's another theory. As far as a rollover, maybe they're rolling it over now to throw us off. However, all that aside, we've got green over the 9. We've got bullish MACD. And then the biggest thing that hasn't happened is we've broken out of this ceiling, and that happened this day. And that's why I had so much money in options, long options, and that's why we did pretty well. But yeah, I closed out a little early. No problem. I had to have patience. Today was a serious exercise in discipline because I wanted to buy everything I could when we were doing this. It was bad. I'm surprised it actually came this far back down, and that makes me think that this whole kind of move right here was probably going to happen without that and just kind of bring us back down to this, like, one of these lower supports before another rally. So after hours today, though, honestly, now that we see GME after hours movement are on the table, I'm going to have exposure to after hours. Maybe not crazy, but at least some, and probably some over the weekend too. I feel like this week and this weekend, it's we're looking good. Only things that I'm a little cautious about, and this, you know, this could happen, just that it just stops and just consolidates and kind of melts down. And my reasoning on that is because the RSI is so high. It's at 70. It's not crazy high. Like I was trying to look at the RSIs back here. Like this one, kind of like this action right here. Big move, and then just kind of consolidates, melts up, whatever. This is great. This is all TA really just for options. I mean, for shares, we're trying to dip buy, whatever. But all the IV got pumped in here, and then this was just really an IV crush. Back here, same kind of deal, sort of. I mean, it kind of kept grinding up, but just big volume days, or big volatile days. That was a big move, of course. That lasted to 344 that day. But look, so see this day right here, this big candle, that RSI was lower. So if you say this candle, yeah, that wasn't a big move though. So it's kind of trying to find like other days where the RSI, we really got close. So it could be something like this, honestly. And this move that we're seeing the last 2 days, it could just be this week. You know what I mean? It could be 1, 2, and then, you know, that's Friday. Or it could go over to next week, or we could consolidate this week. Hard to know. I'm going to have some exposure for sure. I'll show you guys the plays. But see right here on this daily, I mean, that's a big green one. Ours today is just a big double doji. But look, that RSI was high. It was almost to 70, and then it gapped up and kept rallying. So something like that, or even back here, I noticed another day like that. Look how high the RSI was there on that day when it closed, and then it just kind of consolidated up there. set up a bull flag for another rally. But that whole time, the RSI actually kind of didn't really calm down. So really, now that it's starting to move bigger, the RSI is going to be less affected. That's what the relative strength index does. The effects of it are very, very dramatic if it's been trading flat. So if it goes up just this much when it's been trading flat for a long time, RSI shoots up. But if it's having big moves up and down, the RSI gets used to that and doesn't make as big of moves. So that's how the RSI works. So basically, in price action, if you see it really just mellow and consolidating and then you see a big move, it's not sustainable because it's such a big move after something so small, or such consolidation. So once you start getting bigger moves up and down, then it can actually swing that much. But the first initial move, like kind of like we saw today, I mean, RSI was cooked for a lot of it coming up into here. It was too much. But now that we've kind of pushed the volatility, now the IV is higher. To me, I think it's possible more now that we can actually move a lot more without the RSI getting crazy. And it's pretty evident. I mean, today's candle is crazy. That thing is insane. So yeah, also not only the RSI being somewhat high, but this candle so far from the 9 moving average, that's another reason I'm thinking, man, is it really just going to consolidate? It might just consolidate into the weekend, and even come down some, but that 9 moving average will come up. But if you see back here, like a big green day, and then it's so far from the 9 moving average, this orange one, it doesn't come down, but it just kind of consolidates until it gets closer. And then same deal back here, bumped up, kind of consolidated till it got closer, little bump, consolidated, and then finally that last little push. Kind of the same deal back here. Once it pulls away from that, it just kind of, it's too far, did it again. So I mean, the big move was today. If you capture that, bravo. If you practice risk management and didn't lose a bunch, bravo. If you're not losing money in the market and you're a retail trader, you're better than 90%. So that's a great way to help calm your FOMO. If you're not losing money as a retail trader, you're better than 90%. So literally, if you have no money in the market and you just watch the stock market and you say, I'm a retail trader, you're winning. That's why buying long-term and holding and setting it and forgetting it wins. That's why Fidelity says the best portfolios on their account are the ones that are dead people. They have the best returns. Dead people or people that forgot that they had money in the stock market. It's just statistics. That's the stats. Look at the freaking SPY. So yeah, this move today would have been nice to catch. I'm gonna be patient. Wait. So I'm gonna wait. I'm expecting a big move though. Okay, this was huge. I almost actually went long once we got to that 230. So we got to that, this line right here. I was like, there's no way we're gonna cross this today in the first 30 minutes. Especially after a gap up, I was like, we're gonna fill that gap. I thought we were gonna sell off in the morning and then rally. So I thought consolidation here. I almost went long. So I'm like, if we break that, we freaking broke it. That's the one I was like, once we break that, really reevaluate and see what's going on. We crushed that resistance right there. What is that? Here, that one. That 225. Crushed it. And now we're back down. But we made it through. We broke through it. And I think that is good. Remember I said once we get to that resistance, we'll see. Maybe we'll trade in that range from here. I think I had 175 as the downward one. And I think that still is in play. That's if we're kind of in a cycle. But I don't think we're in the cycle. I don't think we're going to trade in this range. Hard to know because yesterday was such an isolated incident with the BlackBerry news and probably liquidation. Also the short-term and long-term moving averages. Oh man, this is crazy. MACD is good on the daily. We're getting right into the strength area. It's crossing over the midpoint. And the fact that we broke through that, even though now it's just a big doji, I really feel like it's gonna go crazy. I don't know if it's this week, next week, but maybe a consolidation day, maybe a down day, but more volatile, I would say. More big moves, and I think we're gonna be testing that 350. Maybe this week. I'm gonna have options for this week. We'll go over the options, and I want to set up some for next week, but I'm gonna wait just in case tomorrow's consolidation and kind of come down a little bit. But, and that being said, the 350 test, like us being out of this wedge, if we test it, I don't know if we're going to be stopped with all the news that can come out with NFT, with the market blowing off the top and doing this huge move. Sometimes this is like initial reaction and then it kind of sets in and then it sells off. That happens oftentimes with earnings. All right, options really quick. I'm going to show you guys, I'll show you really quick. If you do want to get nerd out and you know options, I'll show you. Here's yesterday's. So here's all the options I had yesterday. You can screenshot it. Some of these I didn't buy yesterday. They were carried over, but you can figure it out. There was debit spreads in there, naked long calls. If you want to check and see what we would have been up, it's fine. My FOMO is fine. It's not going to affect me. Like, oh, I can't know how much I would have made, or I'll make a mistake. It's fine, but you can do it if you want. And the way you can do it, you look at those options. You kind of figure out the math, and then on each option, you can look at a chart of it, depending on your brokerage. But you can just see like what it was at today. So here's the 235 call. Let's see, this is yesterday. It was worth $280. Today at the peak, it was worth $3,000. So that's, I don't know what percentage that is, but it's large percent. Wouldn't have been my biggest percentage plays. My biggest were 14,000%, and I keep trying to get high score, but then I'm like, wait a minute, I should just take some profits. So that's probably why we're able to walk away with profits today, or yesterday. Today we're down a little bit. So here's the plays from today. There's my little short calls that I closed because I hate them. And CPSH is rallying a lot today. I'll just show you guys that really quick. And it looks like Switchback is also. Yeah, I don't even know if there's news on this, but this isn't my long term. I've just got a small position on it, and then we've got some calls on it. So I sold half of those, made it free. It's hard to talk about $1 and $200 plays when, you know, we're swinging like close to 100K. But yeah, so this one, I made that one free. And then GME, yeah, didn't do much. I opened up this one debit spread. It's right here. So basically the IV's gotten high, so I am going to be doing mostly debit spreads unless I want to open up some actual like squeeze calls. And my squeeze calls, that's like if it goes to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 60 million, whatever. If it goes over basically 450 and on, I would rather have a naked long call than to have it capped, right? So that gives me unlimited upside. So unlimited upside ones, honestly, I'm looking at like top strike on November monthly options, which is 16 days. Anything up here, I mean, it's retarded if it doesn't go that high, because it's just going to be crushed if there's any downward movement. But if it does, this will be the biggest returns if it goes to 800 or 1,000 on or before that day. So it's definitely not the smartest, but you can make it a smaller play and you know, spend just a little bit. You can have 20 contracts for 2,000. So if GME is at $1,000 a share, and then you have the right to 2,000 shares at 800, that's big gains. And that's not including IP or anything like that. This play I have here, so we've got 12 of them, and it's about 2,000 I put in, or 2,500 rather. So it's 100,000 max profit, 3,000 max loss. Yeah, this is basically just if we go to 350 by Friday, if this happens this week. And I do think it could in the next 2 days. It would be crazy, but I think it could. So here you can kind of see the chart of what happens depending on the price. So here's underlying price. There's the theoretical profit loss. And then here it's capped. So this is a capped play. That's basically it. Rocket ripped up today. Corsair also made big moves. Rocket Lab was doing stuff. SWBK actually came back up. Kind of crazy, yeah. So I'll probably just hold this through merger and just ride it. I mean, I like it. I don't even know what the market cap is on it once they merge, but I think it'll do well. once I have some news also. It's pretty good. So yeah, this week, next week, I mean, I don't want to get pump faked, but pretty bullish. Pretty bullish. Volume today was very good. 10 million. And look, this day was actually 14.5 million. We had, I think, this move was maybe, actually it wasn't even big. This was, I think, was our biggest daily move we'd have almost all year. This back at 824. But this was close. And the fact that the volume is that high, even though we came back down, I think either more liquidations in after hours, an announcement, hopefully, or both, or one or the other. Hopefully before the week's over, but if it's into next week or over the weekend, that is fine with me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on Discord. Have a good evening. Peace out.